what's going on everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I have another discussion video to be going over with you guys, and in today's video what I actually wanted to talk about is what to potentially expect from Bethesda at E3 in 2021. Also, a little bit of my wish list, kind of coming after this, of what I think, maybe could potentially come, but also what I do want to see at, E3 2021. But to kind of get, the main ones out of the way, let's, of course, start off with the obvious. Starfield. I really do expect to see a Starfield announcement at E3 2021. I think it makes the most amount of sense for them to potentially announce it now. Of course, it has been rumored that this game has actually been in production and development for literally like since 2013, I believe, is when the first trademark was kind of released. And then, again, since 2013, it's been pretty much like 8 years since that time. So I would have thought that Bethesda would have had a key idea of Starfield in 2013, maybe started writing it, of course, once they were done with Fallout 4 in 2015, and then, of course, have been working on this big new open world for, I'd say, the last 6 years. And I do expect to see an announcement at this E3. I think that, again, it has been quite a long time since the trademark was kind of released, and it has been a long time, aka 2019, since they actually confirmed that we would be getting a, Starfield game coming. So it has been about 2 years or so since that we have that announcement, and I just think this is the perfect time to finally release a trailer, release some gameplay, and potentially announce the release date for the end of the year. Of course, for those of you as well who didn't know, E3 will be taking place on June 12th, 2021 to June 15th, 2021. So I believe if you live in Australia, that would most likely be, I think, June 13th, 2021 to June 16th, 2021. But again, it is going to be really interesting. I'm not too sure what days Bethesda and Xbox are kind of doing their stuff. I don't actually even know if it's been revealed. But moving on to the next one now, I think it's pretty obvious as well, new Fallout 76 content. Some of the recent leaks that we've actually kind of had is them actually indicating that we will most likely be seeing somewhat of a Fallout 3 remaster in Fallout 76. Of course, the actual Fallout 3 game will not be getting remastered, most likely, but what I mean by we'll be seeing it in Fallout 76 is it looks like from leaks in the game files, they have actually remastered some of Fallout 3's map and have kind of put it into Fallout 76's story. So basically the rumor is with this new expeditions kind of story that will be most likely coming to the game, is that we will be able to go and travel to the capital wasteland 200 years or so before the story of Fallout 3, and we'll get to see what, the capital wasteland looked 200 years before what it did in Fallout 3. And again, more evidence to show, besides if the leaks weren't enough for you, is Bethesda actually remastered a little bit of Fallout 3 and put it into Fallout 4's game engine, and they added it to the Creation Club. Of course, I think that was the experiment to see if they could add it into the Creation engine, and of course it looked like it worked really well, with that actually being quite a big success. So I do expect we will see that. So again, Expeditions is what it's supposed to be called, where we'll get to go to other places. There's been rumors Chicago could be involved, New York could be involved. That's the really kind of confirmed content, because of the leaks have really shown that this stuff will be coming. We also know that pets are supposed to be coming. I believe companions are supposed to be coming alongside these pets, and it would make a lot of sense for you to be able to have a pet, as a companion. Again, we also know that mods are potentially going to be coming as well. And maybe even, of course, Fallout 76 coming to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, and possibly an updated graphics pack for the PC, I think will definitely be on the way as well. So a lot of Fallout 76 content should be getting revealed at this E3. If not much gets shown, then that is an extreme disappointment, because there's been a real big slow release content phase for Fallout 76 for a long time, and it is time that they finally release a sufficient amount of content. I think that Expeditions will be a start, mods will be a start, again, Xbox Series X and PS5 convertibility, updated graphics for the PC. Again, all of this will definitely be a start. So again, after Starfield, I expect to see quite a bit of Fallout 76 content. Another thing that I'd like to see is an Elder Scrolls 6 update. Now, I know we will not be getting a trailer, most likely, is because you'd think they would release the trailer for Starfield and then kind of lay low for a little bit, you know, once that game comes out. And then maybe, who knows, the Elder Scrolls 6 will get announced at the next E3. That would be the ideal situation. But I just want to see an update. It would be really cool for Todd Howard to say, yep, we're working on the Elder Scrolls 6. This is what's happening. Again, that here's maybe a couple of images to potentially look forward to. And again, it will be coming very soon. And maybe even a short gameplay clip to keep people interested. I doubt it, but who knows? Just something to keep people interested. That's really all I want from them when it does come to the Elder Scrolls 6. And then, you know, the last thing to mainly be expected that I kind of wanted to talk about before I get into, like, my wish list is actually a Starfield mobile game. I think it will be very, very obvious that we will most likely get a mobile game for Starfield. Of course, when Fallout 4 came out, we got a huge mobile game in, of course, Fallout Shelter, which I believe is actually Bethesda's most downloaded game ever. Yeah, I know, crazy to believe. And then when Fallout 76 came out, it wasn't really a mobile game, but a little bit, I believe, after Fallout 76, Fallout Shelter Online came out, I believe, for a China exclusive only. Now it's sort of become an Asia exclusive. Again, I'll talk more about that on my wish list a little bit later. But again, that was kind of the mobile game for that. And then, you know, we've had the Elder Scrolls Blades, which has pretty controversial game. Some people like it, some people don't. That is, of course, that is out. And then I expect we will most likely see a Starfield game. That will come with the new Starfield release. Again, I doubt it will be really anything like Fallout Shelter. I don't know if it will be like... It would probably be more like the Elder Scrolls Blades than what it would be like Fallout Shelter. But considering iPhones are getting, you know, really so much bigger and the updated technology is absolutely crazy, there is a lot of stuff that they could do with a Starfield mobile game. So that would be really, really cool. I also expect Starfield to be an exclusive to PS5 and Xbox Series X. I believe it will be, but then there's also been the rumors that PS5 and Xbox Series X will continue to have a shortage through 2022. And what I find really interesting about the Xbox Series X and PS5 is I see a lot of people living in the United States complaining that they haven't got a console and all of this stuff. I have also seen a lot of people in the United States actually have a console. What a lot of you guys don't actually know is in Australia, which has an extremely huge population, for those of you who didn't know, I believe it's like around 28 million or something like that. And a lot of people here love, you know, gaming, etc. I only know, again, I'm going to say this, not to brag, but I've got a lot of friends. But the reason I'm saying I've got a lot of friends is I only know 2 friends out of quite a lot of people that have a PS5, and then I know no friends that have an Xbox Series X or anything like that. The shortage is absolutely crazy. So I don't know if Starfield will be an exclusive to PS5 and Xbox Series X. I'd kind of hope it would be, but again, at the same time, I'm not going to be able to play it if it is. I just hope that everything is clean and smooth and will run on an Xbox Series, if it could, you know, run on a PS4 and Xbox One, because obviously we know there have been games released recently that have not been able to run on Xbox One and PS4. So I think Starfield will definitely be a next-gen exclusive. The issue is no one has a next-generation console. Like, especially here in Australia, I swear no one has one. It is absolutely crazy. And honestly, I don't understand how there is such a shortage. It literally kind of makes my blood boil. And it also makes literally no sense to me how a company in Sony that is so big can release the PlayStation 5 and then like only be able to sell it to like 1 in 1,000 people. How does that happen? I don't get it. But anyway, moving on to kind of my wish list now for E3 and Bethesda, and kind of what I want is, the main thing I actually want to see out of this E3 is a Fallout 4 Special Edition announcement. I think it'd be absolutely awesome to get a Fallout 4 Special Edition. Again, for next gen, I could see it being like an early... Of course, they're not going to release it in 2021, most likely, because that's going to be the Starfield year, I believe. I think I could see this being like an April release of 2022, and it makes a lot of sense to announce it now to get everybody excited, and you can continually build up, of course, the excitement as we go. And then, of course, who knows, actually, maybe it could come out in like June or July next E3, so they could announce it this E3, and then announce that it will come out, you know, and then again announce maybe more again at the next E3 or something like that. But the reason I think a Fallout 4 Special Edition makes a lot of sense is that Fallout 4, there was a big rumor, you know, Todd Howard kind of confirmed this himself, really, is that when Fallout 76 was actually being developed, the reason, well, when Fallout 4, rather, was actually being developed is they actually had a plan to add co-op, but realized it'd kind of take away from the game. But Bethesda really liked this idea, and instead of scrapping it, actually built an engine around it and released Fallout 76, which wasn't very successful at the start, but now it is a pretty successful, you know, intent of having a multiplayer feature. I think, well, you're just letting that technology sit there. Why not release a Fallout 4 Special Edition for like next generation consoles, you know, the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and then, you know, have co-op. You can have co-op, you can have updated graphics, you can have larger mod support, there will be more storage, so that there will be also larger mods as well. We could potentially see some maybe more DLC, and I think this would be an absolutely great idea, and would make, you know, Bethesda quite a bit of money, and a lot of people would love to buy this and play Fallout 4 again with their friends, and maybe get to see some, you know, new DLC or something like that here and there. And this just makes a lot of sense for Bethesda to do. It'd just be like wasting technology if you don't implement the multiplayer into something. So I think that that's why we will most likely see this eventually, and of course I'm kind of hoping we do. And the reason, again, I think it would be great to have it as like a June release for 2022 is, again, the rumor the PS5 and Xbox Series X shortages should run through 2022 as well. Again, considering the E3 next year would be around June, I think that more people would have a lot more hands on their, you know, PS5 and Xbox Series X. So having like a Fallout 4 Special Edition release in about a year or so from now would make a lot of sense as well, in terms of a lot more people would have PS5 and Xbox Series X, and that's when a lot more is rumored to be in production by then. So that makes a lot of sense to me. I'm hoping we see a Fallout 4 Special Edition, and I honestly cannot wait to hopefully see one. The next thing that I wanted to talk about as well is actually the Fallout TV show that was announced. I believe it was actually leaked. Pretty much it is said that Amazon Prime are making a Fallout TV show. It actually got confirmed. The leak was true. There was a little trailer that actually came out for it that was just kind of like a please stand by thing. It wasn't exactly anything extremely special, but it did confirm that it will be an Amazon Prime exclusive. It looks like they're going to be dumping quite a bit of money into it, and I believe the creators of it are actually the people that created Westworld. Now, I don't really know anything about Westworld at all. I have never seen it or anything like that, but I have heard, you know, there was actually some kind of issues with a Westworld game that was kind of like Fallout Shelter, and I believe Bethesda actually tried to sue the Westworld game. I know that has nothing to do with the creators or directors or whatever of Westworld, but I'd just like to point that out. It's actually a pretty funny thing. But again, it looks like, I believe it's the creators slash directors or something of Westworld will be taking this Fallout TV show. Considering this was leaked like a year or two or so, and we got like a full, you know, leaked mini trailer of it, you would think that they will have started maybe filming it, or be in like production or something like that. But it would be pretty cool to see Bethesda kind of talk about this for the first time. I would really like to see Bethesda open up about this Fallout TV show and what we can potentially expect. Because again, it has been a long time, a year or two or so, since we actually got this leak, and it would be kind of weird not to see something to do with this Fallout TV show. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is actually the Indiana Jones game. Now, the Indiana Jones game was confirmed. It did have a trailer that came to it. It was confirmed that Todd Howard will be the executive producer of, or the director or something like that. He will be something of the new Indiana Jones game. It was said that Todd Howard is a massive Indiana Jones fan and was excited to work on this for quite a while. Considering we got a trailer to it, I believe it was like half a year ago. I don't know if necessarily really much has been done. I believe this has been created by Arcane Studios or something like that, or Arcane Studios, which is owned by Bethesda, Bethesda Softworks. Considering we got a mini trailer to it, I'd like to think that, the story has been done. Maybe some of the voice actors have been started. Maybe some of the gameplay has been done. I'd like to see Bethesda just talk about it. I don't think we're going to get anything really that much. It'll be like a Elder Scrolls 6 thing. Kind of them just saying, hey, well, yeah, this Indiana Jones game is still in production. Maybe here's another clip. Or maybe here's who's going to be in the game as voice acting. Maybe announcing if Harrison Ford, is going to be voice acting in the game. Or who the voice actor is going to be. It would be cool to see somewhat of an announcement, of course, by Bethesda, and I do expect something to at least happen. Considering we got a trailer, it seemed like a missed opportunity for them to not at least maybe talk about this, but again, it will be a very interesting thing to see what will potentially happen. Of course, the next thing is actually a Fallout 3 remastered. Would be really cool. Now, I know Bethesda probably haven't even worked on this, and in an interview, Todd Howard actually said that he does not like remasters, and that he does prefer to, stick with the charm of the game, and that's why he's actually loved working with Xbox, because they were able to implement a lot of stuff to do with, kind of having backwards compatibility with Xbox and all of the above. That makes a lot of sense for Todd Howard to kind of go on about that. But just having a Fallout 3 remastered makes so much sense, and I think that something is definitely coming. And the reason why I think something is definitely coming is because it looks like the team that made Fallout 76, which is Bethesda Austin, were actually, again, a pretty decent-sized company. But once Fallout 76 came out, I believe they've almost doubled in size from what I've heard since that game came out. And considering there hasn't exactly been a heap amount of content with Fallout 76, it almost makes me think that something is big coming to Fallout 76, but also that a new Fallout game is coming out, or something to do with Fallout is coming out. Because in all of this time that this company is getting so much bigger, how has there only been a little amount of content, like a big piece of content updated to Fallout 6 every 6 months? It doesn't make that much sense at all. What are these employees working on? Is it a Fallout 4 Special Edition? Is it a Fallout 3 Remastered? It is going to be very interesting to, of course, see what is going to potentially happen. Fallout New Vegas Remastered could also be a possibility, considering Bethesda was recently bought by Microsoft, and of course Microsoft/Xbox do own Obsidian. Obsidian were the creators of Fallout New Vegas, so again, a remaster of that could be a possibility, considering both of them are owned by the same people. Now, it just kind of doesn't make too much sense to me that they would make a Fallout New Vegas before a Fallout 3 remastered. Again, a Fallout New Vegas remastered before a Fallout 3 remastered, rather. That doesn't make an extreme amount of sense to me, so I don't necessarily know if that's going to happen, but it would be kind of cool to see. Another thing to, of course, look at, which I think is the last thing that I'm going to be talking about today, is actually a Fallout Shelter 2, or a Fallout Shelter Online worldwide release. Of course, P. Hines actually did say that Fallout Shelter would be a China exclusive when it came out, but of course that ended up being a lie. It is now in a lot of Asian countries, actually, including Japan, I believe, I think, are able to play it, and I think Indonesia. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, take that with a grain of salt, of course, but again, I think a worldwide release makes a lot of sense, and if not a worldwide release, I think as well a Fallout Shelter 2 would be pretty cool. You could say that, hey, maybe that's what the Austin team is working on, besides Fallout 76. Maybe they're working on a Fallout Shelter 2 or a Fallout Shelter Online worldwide release, but I doubt it, because I don't think Fallout Austin or Bethesda Austin actually rather make on, the mobile games. I believe that's actually a different studio that makes them. So I think the different studio that makes them will be the one that, of course, makes the Fallout Shelter 2 or the Fallout Shelter worldwide, global, release. That would be really cool. Imagine if we got both. That would be insane. Of course, because Fallout Shelter Online has been released for a long time now, it just makes sense for them to say, hey, it's coming out worldwide, and we're also releasing a Fallout Shelter 2. You can play both of them. Fallout Shelter 2 may be more single-player focused, while Fallout Shelter Online would be more of a multiplayer online focused. Who knows what they're going to do? I just want to see something. But of course, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this down below. But of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for all the latest Fallout content and Fallout news. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to my sports channel and my IRL/vlogging channels if you haven't already. Don't forget to check out my podcast as well if you haven't already. Links for them will all be in the description down below. But as I was, I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.